At that point, it was dark, and you could actually see all the blue lights. Even before you got there, it kind of like lit the sky.
Like a stadium lit up.
The day after Tom Fogelman's murder was Thursday, January 24th, 2002. Much of the inside of the family's store remained the same. But outside, the newspaper stand was stacked with the new edition of the Times News.
You never would think something, murder would happen in your own family like that, especially to a man that was good to people and kind and never harsh to anybody.
The front page, putting in ink, the store which once contained everything people living nearby would need, would be missing something forever. It read, store owner found dead. Deputies believe killing might have begun as robbery.
He was a boy when I'm ready.
We got some good guys working on it, and they stay in touch and are trying to get it solved.
Joanne Fogelman talked to Fox 8 on camera later that year.
He was a good student in school. As far as I know, he always seemed to be. He never had to bring any books home.
She didn't want to be on camera here nearly 2 decades later, but did agree to sit down with us in her living room to tell us about her older brother.
And if I would have asked him to help me with something, and he would always tell me, well, if you'd listen to the teacher, you wouldn't need no help. That's me and him.
As a child, Joanne says Tom never played outside with her and their younger brother, Wade.
So I remember him saying he could get outside like if it was raining, and when a raindrop would hit him, it would make a blister.
Yeah.
He had very, very
sensitive skin.
Yeah.
He stayed in the family home next to the shop with their mother.
Growing up, he was sickly. He had asthma, and he had eczema, and they carried him all different doctors trying to get something for it.
And not spending a lot of time with people outside the family may have influenced how he interacted with others as an adult.
For plain old common everyday sense, he didn't have it. He did not have it.
Their father died of cancer in 1977. And their mother died 20 years later in 97.
She passed away, and then Tommy, he stayed on. He had never been married. He stayed on there and ran the store until somebody come by and did what they did to him.
Joanne's daughter sat down with us too, also off camera.
He did certain things, certain days of the week. It wouldn't have been hard for somebody to have patterned the way he did things.
Our first meeting coinciding with their first meeting with the latest detective to take on the case.
Well, he went to the bank on Wednesdays, and that's the day he was killed.
And you can see here, after their mother's death, Tom's appearance dramatically changed. He'd been engaged for a while, but that didn't work out. And Joanne says if you said something to him and he wanted to talk about it, he'd talk. Otherwise, he'd keep to himself.
It was different. What did you think about him, Fred?
He liked a lot of beer.
Yeah, he did.
and hey, wreck cars.
He did.
Yeah. Tear them up. I mean, tear them up.
He remained meticulous, but generous.
He'd give you a shirt off his back. He'd help you out.
He let people run tabs, keeping them in slots in the store, something his dad had always done.
When he was killed, there were no telling it, the people that may have owed him money.
I got one book in yonder.
Never paid a dime.
But was also a germaphobe, to the point he'd push customers their change or drop it in their hand. And the money he kept, he cleaned.
And it was like pressed, pristine, just like brand new.
Including the bills he was known for keeping in his front pocket.
They had this crime scene tape up, and Wade, he walks up to me and he told me that somebody had, I believe, shot Tom. And first thing I told him, I said, you old devil, you, should have been you.